After both guys leave, I return to the Crystal Bros dorm to search for Rosaline, but I find some people in the dining room, surprised to still see them awake. Ah, you are back. Shin stands from the chair he was sitting in with obvious relief showing on his face. Julie is nodding off in the chair next to him, trying to stay awake despite the late hour. When Shin pats her shoulder gently, she realizes I am there and a light smile flickers across her face. Are you alright? They stayed up for this long because they were worried? Yeah. With heavy steps, Julie's brother trudges in and gives us a sideways glance before taking his sister's hand. Julie, I have been searching for you. It's late already. Julie silently nods and waves goodbye with a sweet smile as she follows her brother back to their room. After they leave, I remember my original intention and turn to continue my search for Rosaline. Still have things to do tonight. I nod and call back to him as I'm leaving the room. I think like right at the beginning, they are really pushing these two guys, Leggy and Shin, aren't they? They are kind of like pushing these two, trying to show us that they are kind and they are worried and they are, while the others are kind of like, I haven't passed much time with the student council president, nor the Osamu guy, right? But you should go to sleep already. After a fast report to Rosaline, I get a sign from Tsurugi, coming back, Tsurugi, saying that he needs help, so I head out a second time. Although there are no late arriving Shin users, the number of demons entering the academy fields has grown significantly even with the strengthened barriers. With Tsurugi, we can handle it smoothly, but we spend almost all night outside fighting and return only when the sun starts to rise above the horizon. The next day, I awake at the sound of the alarm, which means it's already past noon and I have skipped almost all of my classes. Let me just take a check in here. So we have the student council president that I think you can date. You have Leggy, the hot-headed guy, apparently. The shy guy, which is Shin. Aito. Oh, Aito is the guy we saw at the gates. You know, that went there and then, oh, I come back tomorrow. Apparently you can date him too. Yeah, we can date Osamu. And... oh, and a guy called Fraser that we haven't met yet, apparently. So I think those are the guys that you can date. And I wanted to date the teasing guy, but yeah, I cannot. Yeah, but I'm kind of like feeling at the start that they are really pushing on Leggy and Shin. Kind of feeling that. With a yawn, I climb out of my warm blankets, put on my uniform, and head out. My eyelids close as I trudge along towards the main building with an occasional yawn. But turning at one of the crossroads, I bump into someone's broad back. Half asleep, it takes me a minute to take a step back. That minute is enough for me to catch the sweet fragrance of chocolate on the fabric of the person's clothes. Chocolate. Morning, Cheryl. Morning. Did you perhaps not sleep much last night? I only nod as an answer. I would prefer to keep this conversation short. That's not good. Sleep is not something that one should skip out on. I shrug and turn to leave, determined to end our conversation. You shouldn't strain yourself so much, not even for others' sake. I hear him mumble that last sentence, but only stop in my tracks a few seconds later. I turn back and find Osamu is nowhere to be seen. For a minute, I just stand there, staring at the place Osamu was standing just before. The way he said that last part was... After that, I attend a class but realize immediately that it's no use. I just sleep through it. It's probably better if I skip classes until some of the new members are trained enough to help out. There is not much for me to learn there anyway, since Rosalind made sure that I am prepared for all of the exams this year. She taught me every day during the summer. On the way back, I overhear some people talking in the forest near the Rose Gate. The voices seem familiar, so I head in their direction and find familiar figures hiding in one of the bushes. They are whispering to each other and peeking out of the bushes in the direction of the Rose Gate. That girl is one of those, isn't she? Is she talking about fairies or something? Andrew points at a person standing in front of the Rose Gate. I take a closer look and see a third-year student from the normal department trying to open the gates. Oh no, it's something else. She was talking about fairies or something. Oh, another controlled person. I take a step towards them, making some noise, but they keep talking completely oblivious. They are too caught up in their discussion and aren't paying any mind to their environment. They have a lot to learn. I will try using the gloves. I just have to touch her with them, right? This guy is also kind of like interesting. This tall guy. Yeah, it's kind of interesting too. The tall guy moves to stand up, but I catch him by the collar and hold him back from stepping out of their hiding place. Wait! The two girls squeak in surprise and the tall guy stops dead in his tracks. Cheryl, when did you get here? Just touching someone being controlled isn't enough. You need to hit them lightly. Hit? But why? They only regain consciousness if you just touch them. If they suddenly woke up surrounded by us, they would panic. Instead, we just add a slight impact so that they lose consciousness. Just waking them up nearly causes them to faint after all. And since they sometimes keep some faint memories of their time being controlled, knocking them out makes them think that it was just a strange dream. I see. Then if I pat her a little harder on the back, that will be enough. I nod and I let go of his collar. Nova steps out of the bushes, but the girl by the gate doesn't react and keeps pulling on the wings of the gate. Anxious, he manages to give the girl a light smack on the back. She stumbles sideways, but Nova barely manages to catch her. Oh, now I'm seeing. Okay, because they were like talking about the gates. And apparently it's these gates that they were talking about. I thought it was like the gates of the school, you know, the academy gates. But apparently no. They are being controlled to get into these gates that go into that dorm where the other guy is and where the fairies are and all of it. So apparently it's like to these specific gates, because I thought it was like the main entrance gates of the academy, you know. Now I'm seeing it. Okay. And now what? Nova looks back at me with a worried expression in his eyes. I walk up to him and crouch down to look through the girl's pockets. Finally, I find her student ID and take a look at the card. She is from the Lucent Fairy dorm, room 203. We are taking her back. I stand up and wave for her to follow me. Through the forest paths, we arrive at the Lucent Fairy dorm in no time. I give them some instructions and tell them to handle the rest by themselves. Most students will be in club activities or still in class right now, so there probably won't be anyone around. And how do we get in her room? The door will be open. But what if it's not? It will be. Okay, then leave it to us. They leave to take care of the matter rather confidently, but I decide to take a walk around so that I'm close by, just in case something comes up. As I walk around, I pass by one of the back doors that's wide open. I can hear someone's voice coming from the corridor behind the door. Curiously, I peek in and see a familiar face. We are alright, already moving into dorm. The boy I met last night is talking on the phone while his other hand plays with his scarf. His expression is a bit dazed and he speaks scarcely and quietly, mainly listening to the other person on the phone. After a while, he hangs up. With a sigh, he turns around and catches me staring at him. He only seems a bit surprised at seeing me, but he doesn't say anything and just stares back. The glimmering eyes I remember from yesterday look at me with interest, but neither of us attempts to start a conversation. The silence is finally broken by a boy who runs down the corridor towards us, shouting, "Hey, Aito, what is taking you so long?" He throws his arm around the black-haired boy's shoulders in a friendly manner. "You've been gone for more than 20 minutes and we aren't even finished unpacking." The boy called Aito looks at his friend, then glances back in my direction, and his friend follows his gaze to look at me. Then he looks back and forth between us, and we keep looking at each other, looking a bit confused before a wide grin spreads across his face. "Hey, you two can enjoy your love at first sight later, Aito. Now we need to finish moving in and getting ready for school tomorrow." Love? At first sight? We both look at him surprised, but he only chuckles and he pulls his confused friend back with him as he waves goodbye, still grinning. After the first tiring days of the school year pass, the rest of the week goes by relatively peacefully. Though Tsurugi, Rosalind, and myself are all constantly busy, we manage to keep the peace in academy fields and show the new members the ropes. After a long week, waking up early in the morning, I make my way to the dining room that is filled with noise and laughter. "Ah, Cheryl, good morning." I am greeted with Rosalind's bright smile, which makes a shiver run down my spine. I know its meaning all too well. She wants me to do something. Something that I won't like. I refuse. The noise dies down at my harsh answer to her warm greeting. "You are so cute." I refuse. "Aww, what is going on?" Cheryl seems somehow grumpy. Beats me. Rosalind stands up and draws everyone's attention with a single clap. "Everyone, Rui has finished up your combat attire, so today we are holding a training session for you to start learning how to use your Shin. And we will start by having some of you test yourselves against our darling master sword fighter." I refuse. From the corner of my eyes, I can see Leggy raise his brows. The twins seem unaffected. Kotoyo looks worriedly, and Shin just watches us with a piercing gaze. That's a shame, even though I had something special for you as a reward. To reinforce my decision, I turn away while she rustles in her pocket and pulls something out. I hear her tear something open. This This was made in Germany by a famous artisan. It's really hard to get. Chocolate? Is she trying to bribe her? With sweets? I can't even imagine that working. My body moves instinctively, and in a split second, the bar of chocolate is already safe in my hands. Biting off a few squares, I savor the sweet and aromatic taste of the handmade chocolate as it melts in my mouth. Eh? Whoa. Then I'm counting on you today, Cheryl. That day, a few hours after breakfast, everyone gathers excitedly in the backyard of the dorm for training. I stand in the middle of the field with Leggy, Victoria, Nova, and Shin by my side while the others sit under the trees and wait for their turn. Alright, before we start, I would like to make an announcement. The past week I have witnessed that some of you can use your Shin at a rather high level. So today you will show us how you cope with an actual fight. Those who do well today can probably start assisting us in our work. Okay, then who out of you four dares to go first against our dear Cheryl? There aren't any rules, just fight her with all you got. Let's say like all you've got, right? I don't know. Well, Rosalind explains with a loud voice so everyone can hear, then turns to the group standing beside me. They seem a bit uncertain and no one comes forward immediately. I take a sideways glance at my potential opponents, then stride across the field, turn around and draw my double swords. What is this? All of you are scared to fight such a small girl? Rosalind's sarcastic laughter rings through the grounds. Leggy and Nova are about to open their mouths, but get cut off. I will do it. Swords against guns. That sounds interesting. At Rosalind's command, the boys stand behind her. Victoria hurriedly takes her place at the other end of the field and readies herself by taking out one of her guns. Is she planning to use only one gun? I look her straight in the eyes and realize she's a bit uncomfortable. She's not used to fighting against another person. I can see it in her eyes, the fear of hurting me. We don't know, maybe she's doing it on purpose. I stall, thinking whether to warn her, but come to the decision that she will better understand it by experience. In a fight, you can't hesitate. Victoria stands still, waiting for my attack. I take a step forward and see her shoulders tense. Another step, and another step, and another step. I see confusion arise in her eyes. I grip the sword in my right hand firmly and move to start running towards her like I'm running in for a close-range attack. It's exactly what she expects, so I take one of my swords and throw it at her. Taken aback, she barely manages to evade it, but I've already broken into a run. By the time she realizes what I'm doing, she's only able to get off one shot, which goes wildly off target. I'm already beside her before she can fire again, pointing my sword right at her. I hear Rosalind clapping her hands together as a sign that our fight is over. Alright girls, that wasn't bad. But I will say this again so everyone gets it. Fight Cheryl with all you've got. Now please take a seat, Victoria, while the gentlemen give it a try too. Victoria nods and does as she is told, all along deep in thought. Now, how about you go next, Shin? Rosalind turns around to face Shin with a sweet smile, but is only given a cold glare in return. No. What? Is there a problem? Shin doesn't even bother to explain, walking away and resting against a tree. The chilling glower doesn't fade from his features for even a second. But Rosalind isn't fazed by his behavior and turns to the other two remaining by her side with a smile. I steal a glance at Shin's sitting figure. Just now, he acted the same way he did back when he met Miss Tyra. Even though I feel a lingering anxiousness about him, I forcefully tear my thoughts away from Shin and focus back on the task ahead. I look back as I hear nearing footsteps. Okay, then it's my turn. I look over the tall guy approaching me. He is wearing steel gloves and boots and is carrying a metal weapon that is even taller than him. His attire is unusual. The heavy armor will probably slow him down. I'm certain its functions is not protection, but to enhance his Shin in some way. Counter to Victoria, he takes the initiative and lunges, forcing me to defend. For a while, I let him attack me and focus on defense, expecting him to use his Shin. But he didn't. He is attacking me constantly, but not senselessly. He is keeping his Shin hidden for now. He is an experienced fighter. To boot, he has already seen me fight. Is this like something that it's common to you to boot? It's the first time I'm kind of like seeing these being repeated and repeated and repeated. I don't know if it's like something that it's usual, normal for you. I don't know. He has already seen me fight, so he is trying to take advantage of that. Okay, then I will go along with it. I steady my feet and slash at him with my sword. He easily blocks with his staff, and just like that, we keep pushing against each other. But Nova's physical strength is without a doubt more than mine, and while he can keep this up using only one arm, I need to use both of my swords. Finally, he raises his other arm and strikes on his metal weapon. It suddenly causes a tremendous vibration to shoot through my arms and throughout my entire body. I have to get away from him. I sidestep out of his way and use my swords to direct his vibrating weapon towards the ground. But as soon as I'm out of the way, my vibrations from earlier cause my knees to give, flopping me down on my back. Nova strikes again immediately. The vibration of the weapon stopped. I stop the attack with one of my legs, but I can feel right away that I won't be able to hold out long. Remembering that I was still holding one of my swords, I take a deep breath and swish it, aiming for his legs. Of course, I make sure to use only enough force to knock him over. First sigil, luminous stroke. My attack causes him to lose his footing. In the second that he's off balance, I kick up with one leg and roll on top of him, reversing our positions. It's like very visual, like all of these parts. Kind of hard to do imagine all of these like very action, kind of like driven scenes in your mind. Nova must have let go of his weapon when he fell, leaving him unarmed. Nova looks up at me with arched brows, like he doesn't even understand what happened. Nova. I hear people speaking all around the field, but when Rosalind claps, I take a step back to let him stand up. Ouch, that hurt. And here I thought, I got you. That was nice. You made Cheryl use a sigil. All right, it's my turn. The thing is, like, she's just getting tired, right? She's just like going from one battle to another. Yeah. I look at Leggy, who has already come up to take Nova's place with a wide grin on his face. I wait until Kotoyo, who has run up to Nova's side, help him up and out of the field before I answer with a nod. I will give it my all, so get ready. He's really enthusiastic. He flashes me a friendly but challenging smile. For some reason, it makes me feel relaxed. He raises a fist, even though he is still several meters away from me. He's going to use his Shin. With a wave of Laggy's fist, golden flames flare up around him and surge towards me. At the sight of huge golden flames, I feel the blood freeze in my veins, as she probably has some trauma with it. My knees weaken, my shoulders and hands start to shiver. And I stand there as the flames approach, encircling me slowly. I can almost feel my skin burning with pain under the glowing fire. All I can see are the dancing flames, and my vision slowly blurs into darkness as I feel myself both burn from the scorching flames and freeze from the fear that takes over every bit of my body and soul. Okay, that will be enough. The moment I hear Rosalind's words, the burning heat disappears and my vision starts to clear up. The flames have all vanished into thin air. I feel my body weaken at the realization before falling to my knees, my body still shaking. I look down, trying to steady my breathing and regain my strength. I don't even hear the running footsteps. Hey, are you alright? My shoulder is grabbed and I flinch at the touch. Laggy peers at my face with a worried expression. However, the warmth of his hand reminds me of those flames. I feel the previous fearing taking me over once again. With a sudden surge of energy, I shove his hand off me and rush out of the training field, getting as far away from him as possible. I wander around the academy grounds for hours, not having any desire or will to return to the dorm. As the time for lunch nears, I'm tempted to fetch some food, so I thread along the road towards the crystal rose fields. However, I become slower and slower with each step. I look at the sky, and a wary sigh escapes my lips. I hear the rustling of leaves coming from the woods on my right. With slow steps, I enter the forest and look around for the origin of the sounds, catching sight of a familiar face. The boy, Aito, who I heard talking on the phone the other day, is standing beside a tree, casting his gaze upwards. What is he doing? This place is far off from any academy building. Only crystal rose fields are close. Normal students rarely come by here. The thought of him being controlled runs through my mind. I approach him cautiously and call out his name. He turns towards me in a rather vague manner. From the way he looks and reacts, I can tell for certain that he wasn't being controlled. What are you doing here? Taking his time, he scratches the side of his face and looks away, not answering right away. Then he finally replies to me in a small voice. I followed someone here. He's acting rather suspiciously. Someone? Who? Suddenly the leaves of the trees above us start rustling loudly. Before I can react, something lands on top of my head. Surprised, I blink a few times, then realize that Aito is staring at me intensely. He raises his hand and points at the thing on top of my head. Her. Meow. Meow, meow. Won't you take her off my head? But it looks cute like this. I keep staring at the boy, expecting him to understand that I'm not in the mood for having a cat nestle on my head. Finally, he steps to my side and stretches his hand out towards the little creature. I feel it get to its feet and leap onto Aito's outstretched arm, with a tender motion moving up to his shoulder. The cat starts purring happily as it nuzzles him. I glance at Aito one last time, ready to turn around and walk away, but realize that he's still staring at me. Huh? You are actually more like a dog. Huh? I feel like I can't follow these. I think it's like, I feel like I can't follow these guys' train of thought. Like, yes, sometimes I don't know. Yeah, it was readable the other way around. It's just like when I'm reading, sometimes I'm like, cannot, as I usually say, I cannot compute these, you know. I look at the boy expecting him to explain what he means, but he keeps gazing at me, though now, instead of his usual dazedness, his look shows interest and fondness. I feel my previous anxiousness fade away slightly and ask him with honest interest. Like, for instance, I feel my previous anxiousness, like, I wouldn't put it like I feel my previous anxiety fade away slightly. Like, do you understand? Like, I would put like certain sentences in here, like in another way. I don't know. So when I'm reading, it feels like kind of awkward to me. What do you mean? His eyes widen slightly at my question. He lets out a small gasp and looks down. The other students say that you are like the cat of the Crystal Rose class, unpredictable and only doing what you are in the mood for. But to me, you seem more like... Having been talking in a whisper, Aito's voice slowly dies out as he explains, looking away. I wouldn't see her as like a dog. Like, dog-like type of people, let's put it like that. They're like more like always trying to grab attention, always being very loyal. That's more like dog type of people, I would say. I don't know. Understanding what he means, I'm slightly intrigued as to why he has come to that conclusion, but I feel that I shouldn't push. Excuse me, I should go back. I follow his figure with my eyes until it disappears. Somehow I want to talk to him more. Feeling a bit better after talking to Aito, I decide that it would do me good to keep walking for a while. With that thought in mind, I go around the roads of the academy, eventually ending up at the main building where I see another familiar figure. Hirio. Hearing his name called, Hirio looks up from the reference book he is reading while having lunch. I can see one of his eyebrows twitch upon seeing me, which means he's still irritated. Yeah. Despite realizing that, I walk up to him and take a seat on the bench beside him. I feel his eyes following me, but as I look at him again, the coldness has faded from them. He doesn't say or ask anything. Instead, he hands me a sandwich before getting back to his book. I nibble on the sandwich, leaning my back against his side while he reads. This is what I like about Hirio. We may annoy each other to the end, but he understands me the most. He knows how I feel even without any words. After I finish eating, I just silently stay by his side and slowly doze off under the warm sunlight. I awake in my bed the next morning. Whoa, I slept for a long time. I didn't even realize how tired I was. With a yawn, I get out of bed, thinking of having a square meal. I feel my stomach rumble with hunger. I jog down onto the empty diner. On the table, there is a huge plate of toast with jam and fruits. Rui is amazing. We are always welcomed with warm, delicious meals when we need it, even if it's the dead of the night or 5 o'clock at dawn. I hungrily ate up enjoying the silence of the early morning. Ah, you are early, Cheryl. Morning. I greet her nonchalantly, even though I see a bit of worry in her eyes. She seems eased by this and takes the seat opposite of mine. You only eat sweet things. More or less. That doesn't sound like a healthy diet. Reed pays close attention to what we eat to make our diet balanced. Sorry. Eh? Really? Oh, it seems we aren't the only early birds. I half expect Nova to walk in, but my expectations are cruelly betrayed. Good morning. Oh. Cheryl, I haven't seen you since yesterday. We were all worried. Lucky walks up to me with hastened steps. The memories from yesterday come flooding back and my shoulders tense just from having him close by. Say, are you all... The instant he gets close enough to touch me, I abruptly stand up, knocking over the chair and slapping his hand away. Lucky freezes at my reaction. Oh, everyone is already up. What's going on here? I would like to know that too. Lucky takes a step towards me and I instinctively lash out at him, feeling a shiver run down my spine. Stay away. What? What the hell? I thought we were finally starting to get along. Now you don't even want to be in the same room as me? I know it's not his fault, but I simply can't stand it. Even the memory of those burning flames makes me quiver with fear. Did something happen? There was a little accident yesterday in training. Cheryl almost got hurt by Lucky's attack. And after that, she left without a word, and this is the first time I've seen her since then. Now she's acting like this. Tsurugi glances at them, confused, but he immediately grasps the situation when he peeks in my direction. Lucky, what is your Shin? Huh? Fire. Thought so. God, this is trouble. Tsurugi rubs his temple, thinking about this disconcerting turn of events. What? Cheryl has pyrophobia. Eh? And it's a pretty heavy case. So that's why. Does that mean it's hard for her to even be near Laggy? Tsurugi escapes from Kotoyo to behind the boys and nods from there. Laggy turns on his heels, probably to speak to me, but I throw the back door of the diner open and I'm already out of the room before he can even mutter a word. Days later, I'm resting under a tree after an exhausting night when I'm called by one of our new members. Cheryl, here you are. I open one of my eyes to look at the girl standing above me, then close it again. Do you have some time to talk? I would like some advice. I nod. She sits down beside me and takes a small notepad and pen. I like to write everything down so I don't forget anything. She pauses, looking more serious now. You see, my special ability is kind of passive, so I can't use it in fighting. That's why I'm a bit worried that I can't help out much. When I talked about this with Rosalind, she said I could compensate for it with good physical training. That's true. Rosalind herself has a passive ability, yet she is the strongest among all of us. Yes, she mentioned that, But she's always so busy, and you're the second most experienced in this field. I was thinking I should probably try using a weapon, but to tell the truth, I don't even know where to start. It's too early to use a weapon. And with everyone's busy, we couldn't even help you in choosing one. First, you should improve your physical fitness in general. One of our new members could probably help with that. Alright. But I won't be able to help out in the foreseeable future like this. She really wants to do something. Well, it must be hard not being able to help out her friends. And what is your Shin? Oh, let me show you. She smiles happily, bringing a finger to her temple as she keeps looking at me. Suddenly, a thought surfaces in my mind that answers my question. She can probably talk inside of your head. Mental abilities such as projection and telepathic communication. I see. That's not bad. And what are its limits? Can you have a conversation telepathically? No, I can only send short messages and images, but if I know the person, then I can do it in a 20 kilometers range, and even to several people at once. It's really not a combat ability, but could be useful. Maybe even before she trains herself. Actually, like 20 kilometers. That was like kilometers. You see, like it's when I'm reading raw and sometimes it doesn't come out the right way. 20 is actually quite a lot. Yeah, that's quite a lot still. Actually, learning to use your Shin well would probably be a great aid to. Right now we communicate with Rui's crystals, but it's a bit too much for her along with sustaining the barriers. If you can ease that burden a bit, that could mean saving lives. Really? Perhaps she could combine her powers with Rui's and then... But Rosalind must have already realized that and may already be working on it. There you are, Kotoyo. The others said you skipped class. I got worried. Nova runs up to us with Risho and Reimei following him. No need to be so overprotective. Just wanted to talk with Cheryl. You're in a really good mood. I'm fired up. It's good to finally know what I should do. Huh? Nova blinks confused, but then flashes a sweet smile. I don't quite get it, but good to see you got over that gloomy mood from before. I stand up, seeing how noisy it's getting. I'm getting sleepy, so I turn to walk away, but I'm stopped by 2 shouts. Thank you, Cheryl. Hope we can talk some more later. Hey, where are you going? We just got here and you just go and ignore us. Annoying. Disregarding his words, I continue walking until I hear another voice behind me. This one actually makes me turn back. Cheryl? I look back and meet Aito's familiar, glimmering eyes. The boy's voice is quiet as usual, but I can hear it even though all the shouting. And she reacts to his call? Taking a look at Aito, I realize that the cat from the other day is on his shoulder again. It's really fond of him. Maybe it belongs to him. Maybe he's its owner. Hey, don't ignore me. God, I have no idea why Reimei looks up to you. Then act in a way that makes me not want to ignore you, Mr. Idiot Sisters Maniac. I tell him flatly, not even bothering to look his way when he freaks out at me, but I don't miss the small change in Aito's expression. You are unbearable. Seriously, Reimei, rethink your opinion on this girl. Till now, at least you admire people who deserved it, like Nova, but she's... No, don't talk out of jealousy like that. Cheryl is a nice person. That's right, to tell the truth, I kinda look up to her myself, thanks to our fight. Huh? You're kidding. You guys do? She's totally just a rude, smug brat. I feel like Risho is getting a bit too worked up over this. Is who his sister likes so important to him? Dan, you. What do you think about her? He points at Aito, who takes a step back from the surprise of getting pulled in like this. Well, Hey, answer. He's a professional at getting on other people's nerves. I think she's strong. Huh? Well, I guess she does seem like someone who could take down even a hella muscular guy. Whoa, he agreed. That may be true. But what I meant was that she's being herself in front of everyone without any pretense. She does and says what she truly wants and thinks, even while knowing that other people will probably not like it and may even come to hate her. And I think that requires great strength. Strength that I would be happy to have too. The last part he says in a barely audible voice as he looks at the ground, so only I manage to catch it. I don't really get what you mean, and why are you talking so quietly? I can barely hear you. Aito looks away, patting the cat on his shoulder. Meow. The cat nuzzles its head into Aito's hand and keeps meowing as Aito whispers something to it. Weirdo. It was Risho. I thought it was Aito. Aito's shoulder twitches slightly at Risho's remark and he lets his hand drop, trying his best to avoid looking into anyone's eyes. That was rude, Risho. Huh? But... Brother! What is it, Reimei? Shut the hell up already. You're so embarrassing. I already feel so ashamed just knowing you are my brother. But you keep barking like an arrogant idiot. If someone is a brat here, it's you. Whoa, they are at it again. But... And you wonder why I never want to admit that we are related? Why can't you act a bit like our big brother, Nova? Eh? He's their big brother? I glance at the tall guy, but he shakes his head and whispers to me while Reimei keeps telling her brother off loudly. She calls anyone she admires big brother or big sister. Okay. For God's sake, I hate you so much. Why did I have to have the most uncool person in the world for a big brother? Reimei stomps away, streaming with anger, while Risho goes pale and falls on his knees. She hates me, and he probably has like a cis count. I almost expect him to burst into tears, but he just keeps mumbling those words. Great, now he will be like this for at least a day. These siblings are a bit troublesome. The other two nod in sync. It's obviously not their first time seeing a quarrel between the brother and sister, more like they appear to be used to it. With a sigh, I turn to look at Aito, only to notice that he had left during the commotion. Maybe that was too much for him. The week passes by with a tense atmosphere, as I intentionally keep avoiding Laggy and the siblings keep fighting. But probably what distresses everyone the most is the fact that the incidents with controlled people are happening more and more often. It almost becomes part of our daily routine to take care of at least one. And at the same time, we still can't find a reason for it. At the end of the week, Rosaline orders everyone to assemble in the dining room during the afternoon. Well, I called everyone here because, as I have mentioned before, there are some new members who are showing signs that they might be able to give us a hand soon. Tonight, Nova, Shin, Victoria, Julie, and Lorioth will take part in their first night stroll with... I immediately raised my hand, knowing that otherwise I would have to help out in training the others. With Cheryl. All right. Understood. I will do my best. Okay. For the rest of the day, take a nap. You will need it. As for the others, you will have a long training session with Tsurugi this afternoon. So hurry and get ready. After a good rest, I wait in the entrance of the dorm, looking forward to what will likely be a long night. After everyone gathers, we leave the Crystal Rose grounds at dusk. Silently, we make the rounds and, as expected, soon run into some demons. These are the ones we had trouble with when we arrived. Yeah, these are hunter-type Ankokus, one of the common demon species. We have already fought them too. Me too. Everyone already fought them? Yeah, we've run into them so many times I can't even count. Then defeat them first, talk later. Yeah. With that, they get to fighting as I watch over them. As expected, Nova fights in the front. His experience really shows. Victoria seems to have learned from our fight that she attacks with certainty now, automatically taking on the role of watching everyone's backs. They are both fast learners, good at adaptation and teamwork. Glancing at Shin and the twins, who stay back for now, I realize I don't even know what their powers are. The twins appear to be a bit wary, like they don't want to act hastily. Meanwhile, Shin doesn't show any sign that he wants to take part in the fight. Suddenly I hear a noise from behind my back. More demons. I put my hand on the hilt of my sword as I catch sight of a demon running towards me. But before I can act, Shin steps in front of me and tears the glass cube hanging on his necklace off, throwing it in the air. Probably ice or something. The glass cube starts spinning, emanating a turquoise blue light. A few seconds later, it stops and I can see a number shining on the side of the cube, too. Is that a die? The light fades and the die dissolves into thin air. At the same time, a pair of long knives materialize in Shin's hands, just in time for him to cut down the demons lunging at us. Okay, no, it's another thing. Let's see. Other demons appear after the one that just attacked me, but Shin defeats them without a hitch. His moves are all agile and steady. He doesn't waver or make a single misstep. He is a skillful fighter with much experience behind his back. And in addition, he uses those knives splendidly. However, his fighting style seems a bit rough, which means he learned how to fight only through actual fights. He manages to finish off all the demons without breaking a sweat, then takes a look back at me. Are you alright? I narrow my eyes as I return Shin's gaze, but in the end I turn back to the rest of the group, leaving his question unanswered. From the corner of my eyes, I see that the twins are still keeping away from the fight. After the previous attacks, Shin starts taking part in the fight, though he doesn't work together with either Nova or Victoria. Out of nowhere, A deafening roar echoes through the academy grounds, followed by a deep growl. It's coming from close by. I'm about to call everyone back when the trees, a few meters from us, start crackling and rustling. The shadow of a huge bulby creature emerges from them. Nova takes a few slow steps backwards, a bit intimidated. Another demon? I don't answer, waving at him to come closer to us. I draw both of my swords, step out of the circle of the little group, and stomp my feet to draw the beast's attention to me. It must have worked, since in the next instant, the creature strikes at me with its huge fist. I kick myself into the air, and its fist crashes into the ground where I was standing. I land on its arm and kick myself up again, this time landing on its back. Planting my feet on its muscled back, I get both my swords ready to attack and raise the one in my left hand. First sigil, luminous stroke. My sword shines brightly and sends a large illuminating slash into the beast's body, making it growl furiously. Injured, it starts shaking to make me get off, forcing me up into the air again. It tries snatching after me, but by then I'm ready to set off my finishing move. First sigil, luminous stroke. Just like before, my other sword shines brightly, but this time the illuminating slash was twice as large, making the creature wobble and fall forward. It slowly turns into scarlet dust. The moment I land on the ground, the bushes beside me start to rustle and dark green spikes shoot out of it. Damn it. I'm protected from the sudden attack by Lorioth, who jumps in holding a blade bigger than himself. After blocking the attack, he lifts the sword like it was light as a feather and slashes through the bushes with it. A bird-like demon springs out from among the leaves. Don't let it escape! I shout, expecting the Hankoku demon to escape at lightning speed, but this one moves far slower than the usual ones. Victoria has no problem catching it with a single shot. That's unusual. Finally finished them. Got worried a bit when that huge demon appeared. That wasn't a demon. It wasn't? Then what was it? I open my mouth to answer but realize that Shin is off to the side. Cradling Julie's small body in his arms, the girl appears unconscious. What happened? I don't really know myself. That happens when we use our Shin. Lorioth answers shortly as he walks up to us, letting go of his sword. He changes into a little transparent globe, floats over to Julie, and enters her body. The girl gains her consciousness back immediately. She looks up at Shin with a sweet smile. Thank you. Shin pats her head gently and lets her down. The girl trots back to her brother's side as if nothing happened. While we use our powers, either me or Julie becomes unconscious until we stop using it. Oh, it's because it's probably like the power is split because they were born twins. And so the way to get like the full power of it, it's probably like one lays unconscious while the other uses the full extent of it. No wonder they were so wary. That's a really dangerous condition. Yeah, because the other one gets vulnerable then, right? Yeah, the other one gets vulnerable. Like if you are getting like an attack, you might think like, oh, I'm going to attack the one that is unconscious. It's in a very vulnerable state. After that, we continue our stroll. Fortunately, the night goes on rather peacefully. As a way to pass time, the others start asking me various questions. Cheryl, you said before that You said before that that big thing wasn't a demon, right? That was a beast. A beast, and how is it different from a demon? Demons have magical powers. Beasts have incredible physical powers. It was one of the more dangerous creatures, right? That's why you fought it yourself. No, you could have probably beat it together. But I was told to only let you fight weaker rank 5 demons. Rank 5? There is a ranking for demon species? Yes, the founders of Crystal Rose had created one to help us. Then those Ankokus, sorry. I need to get in a better position here. Okay. Then those Hankakus are rank 5, and the strongest ones are rank 1. That's correct. Once I met one that was like a phoenix, I barely managed to get away from it. Was that perhaps a higher ranking demon? I met one of those too and managed to defeat it, though it left me with some nasty injuries. Hey, you defeated it? That's amazing, man. Nova smacks Shin's back, but the boy almost trips at how hard the tall guy does it. He takes a step away from Nova afterwards, looking like he doesn't know how to react. Funkins? Funkins? I think it's like that. Funkins, that it's its name. And what is his rank? 4. You're kidding. If that's a rank 4, then what is a rank 1 like? I look away, preferring not to answer, and turn at a crossroad to check the area around the teacher's accommodations. I pull out a bar of chocolate from the sleeve of my kimono and break a square from it as we keep strolling. He really loves chocolate. That's for sure. I couldn't live without it. That's cute. You are a cute one. Why are they laughing? After a night of fighting, we return to the dorm at dawn. Standing by the door, I wait for everyone to enter the building, but stop the last person trailing after the group alone. Shin. Yes? I don't need you to protect me like that. I'm not some defenseless child who needs to be taken care of. With that said, I enter the building, and after my usual report to Rosalind, I go to sleep off the exhaustion from such a long night. A few days later, Tsurugi and I are called to the dining room by Rosalind to discuss the progress of the new members and what to do about the incidents involving controlled people. I have decided that Nova and Victoria will start helping you out on night strolls, starting tomorrow. They still have a lot to learn, but the way things are going, we don't have much choice. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to guarantee everyone's safety for a long time. With that, we can keep the barriers at a weaker state, which will allow me to concentrate more on training the new members. I would especially like Kotoyo, whose Shin would mean a great advantage for us to be able to help out as soon as possible. What about the others, Shin and the twins? Those 3, they are really skillful, probably even stronger than Nova and Victoria. But the twins' Shin has a dangerous side effect. At least 2 other people are needed for them to be able to fight without danger. That's not good news. And Shin has trouble communicating and working with others. If worst comes to worst, I will have him help, but I would prefer to keep him away from the battlefield for now. I see. That is actually not a good strategy. If he is not good with teamwork, then this is like a great opportunity for him to start actually developing, a way of knowing how to do that, I know, let's get our main problem, those incidents. I have come to the decision that we have to act on that matter right away. For now, these controlled people haven't been dangerous, but we can't tell when that will change. And the way the occurrences have increased implies that we can expect something to happen in the not so far future. Yeah? And we can't allow that. The safety of our situation is extremely fragile. If we leave this unchecked, it might crumble to pieces. But unfortunately, we still have no clue to anything about the incidents, so we will choose the only option left beside waiting. We will set up a trap. A trap? But even if we do, will they fall for it? We will definitely have to be very subtle. That's why this plan will be a secret from the rest of the Crystal Rose members. We can't allow the slightest chance of it getting out. I still need to get Rui's agreement for it, but I expect her to give the go-ahead. For now, please keep acting according to your duties. I will tell you the details tomorrow. Alright. Okay. Hopefully, nothing happens until then. If it does, I'm counting on you too. Tsurugi and I nod silently, feeling the grave weight of the statement. I head out early the next day, planning to attend classes properly. I walk with slow steps on the empty academy roads leading to the main building. I was the first one who left the dorm, and as there is still more than an hour left until the start of classes, even normal department students are nowhere to be seen. But this early hour feels really pleasant to me now. The silence, the calmness, and the slightly chilly spring breeze ease the tension in my shoulder and clear my head. When I turn on the road leading up to the entrance of the main building, I notice a small figure standing idly in the middle of the road. I recognize the blazing, scarlet hair that reaches down below her waist. Lila. I jog up to her, glad to have such a cheerful and energetic person for company. Morning, Lila. At my greeting, I only get her utter silence from her. She doesn't even turn my way. I take a step to her side, taking a peek at her face. Probably taking a peek. I think there was like another tiny error in there. I don't know. Lila's face lacks any emotion. Her usual cheerful smile is replaced by an expressionless look as she keeps staring into the distance with glazed eyes. She's being controlled. But this is strange. Compared to the others controlled, she isn't moving, she's just standing in one place. For now, I will release her from this state. I stand in front of Lila and hit her lightly on the side. Then, as expected, she falls forward and I catch her, laying her gently on the ground. Looking at her, I sweep the locks of hair out of her face. I feel anger welling up inside me at the sight of her vulnerable state. Taking a deep breath and letting it out, I calm myself down. I rise to my feet and my surroundings. From the corner of my side, I saw a shadow hiding behind a tree. There's someone here. I keep looking around, acting like I haven't seen anything as I think of my next step. Maybe It's just someone that happened to be in there. But let's make it a rushed decision. Let's attack. Let's do something like, let's just rush it. Attack. It might be the one who is behind these incidents. I don't think so. I think actually it might just be someone that, stumbled into the situation. I can't let them get away. I slide my hand unnoticeably to the knife on my thigh and pull it out slowly. The second it's out of its sheath, I leap towards the place that I think the shadow was hiding. And as I jump in, someone swiftly brushes past me. In my peripheral vision, I notice a scarlet blade in their hand. I kick myself back off of the tree he was hiding behind and jump after the figure. Our blades clash. A boy a few inches shorter than me stands in front of me. With piercing eyes, he examines me as we cross blades again and again. So this is the other guy that supposedly we can also date. Fraser or something, I think it was his name. But the way they put it gives me the impression that he's probably like a Lockett type of character that you cannot do it since the beginning. I kind of have like that sensation. I'm not sure though, okay? After several minutes of fighting, his previously sleepy expression turns into a brassy grin and his eyes start gleaming with satisfaction. Heh, you're strong. Sadly, I can't have a match with you right now. But I look forward to the next time we meet. With those words, he dodges my last attack, jumps out of my range, and sprints away. I look after him, then look back at Lila laying behind me. I can't leave her here like this. I seize my knife and walk back to her. But before I can touch her, she steers and starts to get up. She's already up. I crouch down to help her stand up, but... She's still being controlled. I touch her with my gloves again, this time directly on her skin, but there's no change. She keeps looking at me with glazed eyes. I don't think it was that boy. Because when he was attacked, he would probably lose concentration or something, and I don't think it was him. I think he just stumbled upon the situation, The gloves are not working. Chapter 2, Under Control. Attentively, I run my eyes over the road, stretching into the distance, leading to the school gates. Then I examine the vast blue sky and forest surrounding the academy road. All along, I make sure to not miss any suspicious signs. A shadow, the sound of footsteps, a broken branch, or a flock of blonde hair. Any sign that might help. Anything there? I glance down at Yosei, who is standing close to the lamppost I'm perched on while searching the area from above. On the bench behind him, a girl lies unconscious. He must have finished looking around on the ground level. And from the looks of it, he hasn't found anything either. I shake my head lightly, then steal a glance at the girl we have just got being controlled. She's temporarily knocked out, thanks the gloves, but soon she'll get up and continue on her controlled way. We should get back to the dorm before that happens. After a last look around, I move to jump down, but then I noticed that a pair of huge hands, both made of a soft scarlet textile, are already under my feet, probably to help me get down. I plant my feet on the soft but stable material, and with a few steps, I'm already standing on the ground. From the corner of my eye, I see, as the pair of scarlet hands return to their original form, a scarf wrapped around Yosei's neck. That's one of the strangest powers I've ever seen. Not you two. Strange isn't a word I like to be described with, especially by a cutie. Yosei playfully winks at me, a charming smile plastered on his face, while I just turn towards the girl laying on the bench. How many does that make today? You will simply ignore what I said? That hurts. Probably 3. Let's go back so that Rosaline can release her from the control. Sure, you lead the way and just leave carrying her to me. I nod and turn around, deciding on the best route to the dorm. Though it's a roundabout way, but at least we won't run into any other students or teachers. As we get close to the Rose Gate, we pass by the area where I found Lila controlled and fought the short blondie. My fists unconsciously clench as the unsettling memories of that day over a week ago come flooding back. With focused expression on, Rui and Rosaline lean over the unconscious Lila laying on a blanket. Meanwhile, the rest of Crystal Rose is waiting around the room for them to finish examining her. Rui floats above Lila as her glance runs along the unconscious girl's body, her expression slowly becoming confused and worried. Rosaline, after a few minutes of thinking with her fingers tapping her rosy lips, takes out the glove identical to my pair. Then she turns to Rui, who nods in response. Then Rosaline proceeds to touch Lila with the glove. But after a few seconds, she puts the glove back into her pocket, her expression showing that she is still deep in thoughts. Yeah, it's definite. The gloves don't work anymore. But I don't think there's any problem with the gloves themselves. Try releasing her yourself, Rosaline. Rosaline follows Rui's advice without a word and puts the tips of her fingers on Lila's, because I think it's better to say it like in a more Japanese way, Lila's forehead. A second later, she removes her hand, humming thoughtfully. Interesting. People around the room shifts anxiously, worried about what that might mean. However, Rosaline and Rui stay silent for quite a while. Naturally, that doesn't help to ease the anxiety of the other people in the room. Rosaline? Huh? Sorry, I totally forgot about you all. I've managed to release her, and now that I think, we should probably return Lila to her dorm before she regains consciousness. I will take care of that. Kotoyo can tell me the rest later on. Thank you, darling. As Nova steps to Lila to pick her up, Rui floats away and sits down on the dining table. And finally, she and Rosaline start explaining what they have found out, which is barely anything. Something about the power that is controlling these victims seems to have changed, but I can't really grasp what it is. From the fact that the gloves aren't working anymore, I would assume that it's gotten stronger, but after examining that girl, I doubt that's the case. I could barely even sense any powers on her. But it seems the gloves won't be of much help anymore. I did manage to release her, but it was significantly harder. It needs more power, which is an amount that is not possible to contain in the gloves. Though this might change in the future, and using them seems to at least knock the controlled people out, so I'll try to afford some of my power for the gloves too. But as things stand now, we'll need some emergency measures. Since then, we had to face another new problem connected to the controlling incidents. And that, combined with the fact that we can't use the gloves anymore, means a great burden on all of us. After that day, these incidents have become more and more frequent. By now, 5 to 6 controlled people a day isn't rare. And these circumstances mean severe consequences. Rosaline is now spending most of her time in her room, resting or leading the actions of the special department. She has no time for official matters coming with the start of the new year, or even to train the newbies of Crystal Rose. Meanwhile, Tsurugi and I have decided to have Shin join in on night strolls and the twins on standby. In daytime, the rest of the members are taking care of the controlled incidents, bringing each of them back to our dorm where Rosaline takes care of it. We've somehow been able to keep everything under control so far, but everyone is uneasy. The sound of nearing footsteps tears me away from the thoughts circulating in my mind for the uptenth time these past days. Sorry, let me just put another thing. Another thing that's... Let me just see something in here. It's like, I think it was like that thing that said at the beginning. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Because I was like thinking, endings, do for common route. Okay. Which was like, they were like saying that it was like about 4 hours. And we probably already reached the 4 hours. And I don't know if they gave us the full second chapter. So it's going to be a lot more. If they are giving us the full second chapter and we just started the second chapter, it's going to be a lot more than 4 hours. Like 4 hours where? What? Okay, let's keep seeing this. It's just that I need to know how long this is going to take, you know. Okay. We're only a few meters away from the dorm when a familiar figure comes walking up to us. Another one. Maybe it's this guy. Maybe it's this guy who is like controlling them. I mean, he has a face of a troublemaker. And that's why I was like so interested in him. I was like, I'm going to do this guy. But I'm like thinking, maybe it is this guy. I don't know. Another one. Dane asks us, snickering, though I'm not sure whether he truly finds it funny. Of course, the answer is pretty obvious, so he doesn't even wait for a reaction. You need help with carrying her? He turns to Yosei while I step up to the entrance door to open it. Turning the doorknob, I fling the door open, only to have a sea of bubbles flow out of the room inside right at me. Unlike everyday bubbles, these seem to be more durable and barely any of them pops out. Rather, they cover me and flow out into the open air. Behind my back, I can hear loud snickering, which this time sounds perfectly honest. Pushing and popping out the flowing bubbles, I slowly make my way to the door of the dining room, or rather where it should be, since the door itself is laying on the floor in pieces. I pass its frame and enter the dining room, which is filled with bubbles and laughter. Reimei is whirling around and dancing in the middle of the bubble sea, more and more bubbles coming to be around her hands as she keeps dancing happily. Tsurugi did mention that her Shin was connected to water, so this was her doing. Oh, Cheryl, you're here. What, Cheryl? And you had to come in through that, sorry. I was just trying to help Reimei in learning to use her ability, and it ended up like this. Nee, what do you think about my ability? Ne is like, we actually have that in my language. We like ne. It's more like, isn't it? And it's the same thing for the Japanese. We use it a lot, ne, to kind of like say, isn't it? And the Japanese kind of use it in that way too. It's kind of funny. What do you think of my ability? I really like it because it's so cute. Though I probably couldn't use it in a fight. But I'll definitely find a way so that I can become as cool as you, even with this Shin. It was certainly surprising to be bathed in bubbles suddenly. And they are rather durable, actually. Oh, bathed in bubbles. That sounds so good. Then the name of my Shin will be Bubble Bath. After exclaiming that, Reimei gets back to creating even more bubbles. Like sometimes, like I feel the need of some commas. It's not just in here. In a lot of the scripts that I read, like sometimes I'm like, can you just put some commas in there so I understand where you have like one sentence and starts the other. So, after exclaiming that, comma, Reimei gets back to creating even more bubbles. This time even trying to make them bigger. So energetic. But we have another controlled person with us, and Yosei can bring her in. Ah, damn it. Sorry. I will pop them all out right away. With that, Enshu tries to wade through the sea of bubbles to get outside to help Yosei bring the unconscious person in. Bring her now to the kitchen, it's closer to the entrance. Enshu nods as she finally reaches the door, though there she jolts and turns back to me. I almost forgot. Sorry, but I managed to destroy the door here. I can't control my Shin perfectly yet, so... It's okay, happens pretty often. That's why it's made of paper panels. Victoria damaged it already on her first day. There are spare ones in one of the storages. Okay, then I will help Yosei, then take care of that. Julie, can you call Rosalind for me? Uh-huh. I hear the quiet answer from the other end of the room, only realizing now that there are other people in the room beside Enshu and Reimei. Only they got covered in the sea of bubbles, so I couldn't see them.